with us on Asset Television. This is Issues of the Moment, and my name is Sunday Ayami. Let's begin today by talking about some issues in the polity, like what is happening in the National Assembly now about the immortalization of Professor Humphrey Nwosu. We will dig very well into that and see how things have played out over the years, not without introducing Raphael Joe, who is with me this morning. Raphael, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, last week, Tuesday specifically, this week, there was this colloquium in honor of Professor Humphrey Nwosu, the man who is being adjudged nationally and internationally as having conducted the freest, fairest elections in Nigeria so far, the 1993 election. That date, June 12, 1993, is being honored with a public holiday. So it is now being observed as public holiday every year. Babagada Kingibe, who was running mate to MK Abiola, was honored with title. He was also SSG after that time. Then MKO himself, who was at the center of everything, was also honored. In fact, they named the Abuja National Stadium after him. But the man who was the architect of the whole election, even in death, nobody was to honor him. Until Southeast senators they had to stage a walkout because others refused. In fact, they never even wanted, what they wanted was just a minute silence. That they said 1 minute silence is enough for Professor Humphrey Nwosu. That was so terrible. Just 1 minute silence for the person who has been adjudged as the man who credibly conducted the freest election in Nigeria. Well, these are some of the issues we have to discuss. And let me find out the opinion of my colleague first. I don't know what you think about that and what they are saying in National Assembly.
Yeah, well, I see to it that the setback of the motion is, I think, I say it's political, is it ethnical? I don't know, but because for all the senators in the Southeast who have supported the motion and still making it look as if maybe it's because of Southeast, making it look as if because it's a one-sided thing. I don't know. What do you think is the...
Well, you see, honestly, I'm not looking at it that way. I think I want to believe, let us put the nation, the national interest first. I'm not looking at sectional or religious. This man in question now, Professor Humphrey Nwosu, did not conduct election for Southeast. He conducted 1993 election that exactly. Everybody was involved. So let us not look at it for, oh, this man is from this part of the country or is from this part of the country before he's being honored. MK Abiola is from Southwest. When they honored him, nobody raised any, otherwise, nobody, they wouldn't have named the stadium after him.
Exactly.
You understand?
Sure.
Babagada Kingibe, getting the second highest honor in the country, and he was secretary to federal government. So, I mean, the man himself, Professor Humphrey Nwosu, deserved more than being given a 1 minute silence in the National Assembly. For goodness sake, let us come up with the realities of ground here. So, I don't know, maybe let us just hear, because from the Southeast senators who walked out, We have the video. Let us hear from them.
The Southeast Caucus. And as you know, you can see all the members of the Southeast Caucus. They are here. We came here just to make a brief statement after the vote that was taken on the floor with regard to our motion to immortalize Professor Humphrey Nwosu. We had 3 prayers. The first prayer, which was for them, for the Senate to recommend to the executive that given the fact that Professor Humphrey Nwosu was the person who actually laid the foundation of the present INEC headquarters,
So
and commenced the building
I will come to that
before
that
particular NEC was dissolved by the military in 1993. We felt that we should recommend that the executive names that INEC building after him. This is also in consonance with what Professor Jega, a former INEC chairman, said on Tuesday at the colloquium for Professor Humphrey Nwosu. Professor Jega said that he was surprised that up till this moment, Humphrey Nwosu has not been recognized or honored by the government of Nigeria, who today are benefiting from his plans and legacies in producing, in 1993, the freest and fairest election. Don't forget that it was the outcome of the annulment of that election that led to the disturbances everywhere in Nigeria, that also led to the exit of the military in 1999, 6 years later. We had 2. We also had another, that even if they don't do that, that they should also honor Professor Humphrey Nwosu by giving him a national honor. That, of course, a posthumous honor. That was also rejected on the floor. Of course, the third one, which was for him to be honored by the Senate by giving him a 1-minute silence.
Okay. Now you heard from what the Southeast Caucus in the National Assembly, in fact the Senate, are saying, led by Senator Eyinaya Abaribe. This man we are talking about now was the one who laid the foundation of the national headquarters of Independent National Electoral Commission, where they are now in Zambezi Street, Mitama. He got all the quarters that National Assembly staffers are staying now. So what is the big deal there, naming the headquarters after him? Akpata, who was one time INEC chairman, had the place named after him after his death. For goodness sake, let's call a spade a spade. And again, after this imbroglio that started from Yaradua Center at the colloquium, National Association of Political Correspondents are also reminding the federal government and indeed the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to immortalize Professor Humphrey Nwosu. These are the people, the journalists, of course, the group of journalists that covered the 1993 election. And today it has come out to remain as an NGO, National Association of Political Correspondents. These were the architects the people who saw it all went in the trenches and came out unscathed. Though somehow some of our colleagues at that time had some bruises here and there with the authorities that be, because they were fighting for the realization of a true political democratic, not a militocracy that we were at a point in time. National Association of Political Correspondents came out with a statement calling on the federal government, indeed the National Assembly, to do the needful, properly recognize this man that conducted the freest election. I keep saying this one, we keep saying it. Every Nigerian has been saying it. If you talk about the freest election in this country, you will also mention, in fact, no other person than Professor Humphrey Nwosu. Exactly. And he deserves this honor. What will you summarize on this one now?
I think the best way is to let the voice to call for the senators to do the needful, as well as the entire National Assembly.
Okay, let's leave that one out there, and as we go to another issue now, all elections to be held in one day, if approved by the National Assembly and if given assent by the President. A member of the House of Representatives, Kenga Ogochinyere, in fact, the bill has gone into second reading. It has passed second reading. So what remains now is to organize a public hearing on it before it is being summarized as an act. Right now it's still a bill. So now let us think. Instead of staggering election, maybe this week you have presidential election, next week you have governorship and state election. So, and of course the precedent of having a bandwagon, because once the major actor, like for instance a state, once a state has APC or PDP or even SDP as their governor, of course you know all the local government will toe the line because nobody wants to be in opposition. So now let us listen to what Ikenga Ugochinyere had to say are the benefits of this election being held in a day.
The office of governor, the office of Senate, Senator, House of Representatives, State Assembly, and local government elections should all be conducted in one day. And whether you like it or not, this is very historic in our nation's democratic history. Coming from a background of worse, voter apathy, crisis, and election manipulation, holding all elections in one day in Nigeria will achieve major things like: one, it will reduce costs. So instead of going 2-3 Saturdays to do this election, paying the same INEC staffs and ad hoc staffs and so on and so forth, we can put all these elections in one basket in one day. Then voter apathy. Normally when somebody that is supporting a presidential candidate feels the presidential candidate has lost, he will not turn out to vote for state assembly. But now we're going to have supporters of presidential candidates, supporters of senatorial candidates, rep candidates, governorship candidates, state assembly candidates, local government. You can imagine how the polling unit is going to be very busy. And then for election security, now you're going to have almost about 12 agents or 3 agents for one party, times the number of party participating. So the number of agents in that polling unit has already formed the security ring around the electoral process. And that will ensure that those who normally come to frighten voters and run away, you're going to see not less than 500, 1,000 people in one polling unit. So in terms of reducing costs, all election holding in one day in Nigeria is coming at the right time. In terms of security, it's coming at the right time that people try to snatch ballot and don't want elections to be loaded and so on and so forth. Then in terms of saving hours, so instead of locking down the country for 2-3 Saturdays, we can have all this election in one day. And again, in terms of credibility of the process, Remember that if we have all election in one day, the accreditation that is used for the state assembly or local government or house of rep is the same accreditation for the presidential election. So we now have a situation whereby after a house of rep or senatorial candidates have been declared with 40,000 accreditation, the presidential election result is showing 1 million. Because already people have collected their result at that lower level before we even start getting to the state level where we're going to compile the governorship and the presidential. So this attitude of maybe somebody is losing a governorship election and he calls people and says, okay, we have lost 2 local government. Can you hold down the result of Southern Zone? And then we need like 30,000 votes. Then they will intimidate everybody and raise it to 30,000 votes. You cannot do that again because that 30,000 you are adding is not in the result sheet that is already with the House of Assembly or local government chairman who has already emerged. So we're going to put a cap on accreditation and to make the process a little bit transparent. So to me, it will save Nigeria cost. It will bring more unity and cohesion. It will bring active participation of every Nigerian. It will reduce electoral violence and thuggery, and it will make the process a bit credible. So I must be honest with you that I'm so happy that the House of Representatives this afternoon considered that the bill should go for third reading by approving it. Second reading, sorry. It passed the second reading today, yes. So it's going for third. The Office of Government.
And you heard what Kenga Ugochinyere had to say there. It will save costs. From the government has so many ways to benefit from conducting election in one day, but when you look at it again, it has merits and demerits, because the merit there is saving cost and making sure that Nigerians don't keep going back and forth from polling unit. It saves everything. So maybe my colleague also has 1 or 2 things to say about this.
Yeah, it's good, but if it is doable, it's good because it will even save those riggers. Whereas you vote for a president, hoping that okay, after the presidential, your own turn is coming to become the next in line. Yeah. So I think it will minimize the level of thuggery and ballot snatching and this distraction in our elections.
All right, that is where we bring down the curtain in today's edition of Issues of the Moment. We'll catch you up next week, and let us use this opportunity too to say Barka de Salah to all our viewers out there. Though even when, as you celebrate, we will be in the office because we don't have public holiday. However, we wish you all the best. Have a nice time.